Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again on Food for Thought. Today is it's Tuesday, Tuesday, and this is Food for Thought, a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church. And my name is Sunil Chandy. I'm the priest and rector at Christ Episcopal Church. So today we had a guest that we had planned, but unfortunately that didn't seem to pan out. But we have, of course, our normal producer at Ben, and he is going to be with us today.
We're going watch your words carefully, Father Sunil.
I said exactly what is appropriate. Normal.
You know what? I'll take it. It's fine. So today we are gonna talk a little bit about the upcoming Springfest at Misquamicut Beach. That is what the episode was supposed to be to begin with, and so I'm very excited about it. Every year doing Springfest at Misquamicut Beach is fantastic. This is the first Springfest in 2 years or 3 years because of COVID. So there was no Springfest in 2020 or 2021. The festivals came back with Fall Fest last fall. It was a big success. We expect this one to be a big success. Let me start by playing the commercial that was put together by Caswell and Chris Walsh. Good. So here is the Springfest 2022 commercial.
Surf, sun, and sand, great food, a Ferris wheel, rides, games, a music stage, classic cars, and fun. That's what's in store for you at the Misquamicut Spring Festival, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May 13th, 14th, and 15th at Misquamicut State Beach. On the shores of Westerly, Rhode Island, the Misquamicut Spring Festival is a great way to start the 2022 beach season. For more information, log on to MisquamicutFestival.org. Misquamicut Spring Fest.
I love that. Let me ask you, that's Caswell?
That's Caswell's voice, yeah.
Oh my God, he's such a DJ.
He's terrible.
He's good. And for those folks of you who might not know, Caswell Cook is the senior warden at Christ Episcopal Church, and of course he is very active in our town. He's also on town council, and one of the things that, and he was on search committee, and one of the things that was so important about my being here at Christ Church is that we wanted to be an incarnational presence in the community. We want to be embedded in the community, doing the work of the community, supporting the community, and this is one example of it. Go ahead, Ben.
Food for thought is one example of it?
Or like the idea of like us, food for thought, and also the idea that I'm going to actually be there for this fair. And yeah. I was wondering if maybe we should have this little booth there that says, ask a priest, something, anything.
I think that would be great. I think you should do that.
I mean, we do that every time on Thor with Ask a Priest, but in person,
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think we should talk to Caswell today.
Yeah, and
see if we can get that going.
And do and then we could do like turns. Maybe I could have Father Al do a session. Maybe Eric do a session. We could go out there, embody like the incarnational presence of Christ's Church in that in the community. Enjoying ourselves.
I'm for it. I'm all for it. I think that this should have already happened. Absolutely.
I think so.
In addition to that, there's going to be some musical guests.
Okay.
So let's go through the musical guests here.
Okay, go ahead.
On Friday night, 6 to 8, kicking off Springfest is No Exit 4. They're a great group. I believe that they like to consider them. You know what? That's a different band. I'm not going to say that. Then Friday night's headliner is Aquanet. The music of Aquanet, 8 to 10:30 p.m. And then on Saturday, there's a full day full of music starting at 11:30 with Wooden Horse. Then Kyle Vincent. This man was called, I don't want to get it wrong, but he was called the Crown Prince of Soft Pop by Goldmine. And Barry Manilow said that he was one of the best singer-songwriters to come along since the heyday of Tin Pan Alley.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. So Kyle Vincent is fantastic. David Tessier and his all-star band, bringing their vibes from 4:30 to 6:30 on Saturday night. And then Jeff Allen Ross and Bill Sinkay. These guys are going to be here at the United Theater on Thursday with Peter Asher. Do you know who Peter Asher is, Father Sunil? So
Mm.
Peter Asher is from the band Peter and Gordon, and he discovered, not only was he, so you know the song I Go to Pieces, and A World Without Love, right? A World Without Love is a Lennon and McCartney song, but it wasn't sang by the Beatles. It was recorded by Peter and Gordon and put out and was a #1 hit. After Peter and Gordon broke up, Peter Asher became the head of A&R for Apple Records for the Beatles, and he discovered James Taylor.
Oh, wow.
And then after he discovered James Taylor, he became his manager. He worked with Linda Ronstadt and Bonnie Raitt and
yeah.
a whole host of other people. He produced, Sweet Baby James and all of those classic records. He's going to be coming to the United Theater on Thursday night, and he's going to be accompanied by Jeff Allen Ross and Bill Sinkay. And then Bill and Jeff are going to come back on Saturday to do Springfest, and they're going to be doing a Badfinger Beatles British Invasion Brothers show, where they're going to be playing all of the music from the 60s. And if you go to the United Theater show, you're going to see Peter Asher, a memoir, the 60s and beyond,
Wow.
where they talk and do all of that stuff. Peter Asher literally wrote the book on the Beatles A to Z, that came out in 2019, and he hosts the incredibly popular show From Me to You on Sirius XM Channel 18, the Beatles Network. And Jeff Allen Ross is his producer every week on that show.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know, I know that Caswell loves the Beatles.
Oh, Caswell loves the Beatles. If he could just wrap himself in a British flag all day, he would. Ed Peabody and the Big Blue Thing on Saturday night, and then on Sunday we have New Rising Sun from noon to 2, and Whole Lotta Heart, a wonderful Heart tribute band. And much like the original band Heart, they play Heart and they play Led Zeppelin, because the band Heart did a lot of Led Zeppelin covers. So that is the music lineup for this weekend Springfest.
I think that's going to be beautiful. I mean, I love, you know what, I was, I'm, me, I'm always like a Tony Braxton fan,
Oh yeah.
but whenever I go to these festivals that we have on the beach, it's always good to just go out there, get some cotton candy, just sit down, listen to the music, and then go ride the rides. I haven't really actually ridden the rides yet, but I've listened to the music. And
you gotta ride the rides.
I know.
That's what's missing. That's where you're falling short.
I'm falling short on the rides. You're right.
You're falling short on the rides.
Well, you know what? I tell you, Simi, whenever I go to the beach with Simi, right, we can never go on the rides because she's afraid of heights. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. I'm also afraid of heights.
So you haven't ridden the rides. So then why have you ridden the rides?
No, I've never. I have. Well, okay. So the rides are from Rockwell Amusements, which is like the cream of the crop when it comes to festival entertainment, in New England and New York. And I have ridden Rockwell Amusements rides before when I was a child.
You mean like the carousel, like the little horsey thing?
I rode that. I rode the that little dragon roller coaster. There used to be this, I don't know if it still exists, if it's still around anywhere, but there used to be the Gravitron was something that I would ride a lot.
Oh, the one that you go on the side and
yes,
you're kind of and then the floor drops on you, and you're still, and because of centrifugal force, you're still kept up.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I rode that. That was my favorite one. I also liked the I don't know what they're called now. I think it's called like the Polar Express now, but when I was a kid, it was called the Flying Bobs.
Yeah.
And you'd go around and around and around and play classic rock music. That was That was a lot of fun.
You know, I used to drive. So in these amusement parks, I used to love like the roller coaster rides. And because I'm a priest, I always did youth work. Brought the kids out there. Always the youth group out there. And you know, every year it was like the idea of riding the biggest and the baddest ones, right? Now I'm too old. I just look at them and get nauseous.
Yep.
It's okay.
Speaking of children's entertainment, Kiefer's Martial Arts will be there doing a demonstration.
Oh, I always love that. They're always
Yep.
good.
There's
They're always
games. There's also, so this is a big deal in my house. Kids love watching video games online nowadays, and one of the top family-friendly video game content creators in the country is going to be there. His name is Brian Saviano. He's a really good friend of mine, coming down from Boston, and Bricks O'Brien is what he's known for on the interwebs. And he just wrote a children's book called Pro Gamer's Guide to Healthy Habits. And he and his illustrator, Kevin Hinkle, are going to be there. And Kevin will be making artwork for children, and custom artwork, and they'll have stuff that you can get. And yeah, so Brian wrote a book about healthy habits for kids that want to grow up and play video games for a living.
You know
So
what?
the importance of going to sleep early, getting outside, good hygiene, drinking a lot of water, not filling up on energy drinks and sugary snacks, all of those things.
I think that's a. You know what? I think you spoke about trying to get him on our show on Food for Thought. I
Yes,
think this would be really. I think he would be great. I think
he would be wonderful. All right, let's go back to the church. Yeah,
Did you notice that? I did that too, and it worked.
I know. You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
So anyway, yeah, I'll get him on the show. Don't worry about it.
There's this Spanish word, simpatico.
Okay.
Simpatico.
Okay.
Simpatico.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever done this is very weird, but I was talking about it a bunch the other day. Have you ever done the Myers-Briggs personality test?
So I have a different take on that. You know,
Yeah.
I have, and I'm actually an introvert and
Yep.
a functional extrovert. I'm an introvert. I kind of move in those directions, and sometimes I show myself as extrovert, but but I'm more. It's interesting because I don't necessarily. I never used to subscribe to those type of personality tests because I always felt like I could actually, you know, you could think through the answers and you could kind of, you know, make yourself to be what you need to be. But recently, I did some work on the Enneagram, which is another ancient personality test, and I started to get a different perspective on this. And I think that you know, even something like the Myers-Briggs can actually help us to think about who we are and how we handle things in the world. And so the reason why I'm an introvert is because I like my time being an introvert, and I need to prepare myself. But I also feel like being a priest, you have to be extroverted. You have to engage with the world.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. I think we should do an entire show on it, right? We should figure out what everybody is.
Oh yeah. And so like I'm in the Enneagram, I'm considered a number 3. There are 9 categories, and number 3, you know, is a person who's considered to be an achiever, right? But the question is, why do you achieve? That's what the Enneagram asks. Why do you want to achieve? And the question, and the deeper thing is about being loved. You know, you achieve in order to be loved, and so that helped me to kind of really pray through a couple of really pray through this idea of why do I do the things that I do, and you know, it's interesting because I always preach that you are loved not for what you do, but who you are, in relationship to God. And that Enneagram thing kind of helped me realize that maybe I don't feel the same way about myself in that, with that in my mind, So
I love it. I love these conversations.
yeah, they always go somewhere. I mean, it's just beautiful. And even with this, the Springfest, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, the fact that we're engaged in it and that we're doing something in this community, that our community in Westerly is coming back even after this pandemic, and having the strength and the courage to meet together and to enjoy life again, to embrace life. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is. So I will see everybody at Springfest at Misquamicut Beach Friday night 5 to 11, Saturday 11 to 11, and Sunday 11 to 5. That is, I don't know. That's all I got for today, Father Sunil.
Well, I think you're amazing, Ben. And are we going to
Okay,
see
keep
you on
this
the
coming.
screen?
Keep this coming.
Well, you are amazing.
And humble.
And humble. You're very humble.
and well spoken. Smart.
You are. You're brilliant.
Bye for now.
Love you, buddy. And all of you guys who are watching, thank you for watching us. I know today was kind of a little bit strange, but it gives us an opportunity to talk about some really good things that are happening in our community. But as is our tradition, let's end our time with prayer. And this is a prayer written by Bishop Thomas Brown of Maine. And we, of course, want to thank Ben for being such a great sport and such a great man and one who's really engaged in our community. So the Lord be with you. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, you traveled through town and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fears, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, counselors, and caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace and love and serve God. Spread the light of Christ to the world around you. Be courageous and yet also smart, especially as we come through this COVID crisis. Blessings always.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.